It's time to talk about an unexpected one-and-done prospect who has all the qualities of a shot-creating wing at the next level. A freshman wing at Miami last season, Kyshawn George broke out as a draft riser as the 2024 campaign continued on. Although he's 6'8", with the frame of a wing or forward, he possesses natural guard instincts with playmaking upside. Who is Kyshawn George? What are his strengths and weaknesses? Let's get it. Let's start with strengths. Not only does George have great size for a wing with guard skills, handling the ball, but he's also a great shooter. Furthermore, he's proven that his shot should translate at the next level with how many ways he has scored on jumpers. Whether it's on or off the ball, George is effective. George is on a short list of freshmen and sophomores at his size or bigger to finish a season averaging at least 10 three-point attempts per 100 minutes with an assist percentage of over 15. George also shot 40.8% from deep, looking comfortable with his shot and ability to release over the top. He made over 40% of his catch-and-shoot threes and 36.4% of his pull-up threes per synergy. Let's watch some highlights.
George wants to heave up a three. He's got it. Full court defense. He does it. There's another one. Picked off. George will turn and fire. Got it! A three-pointer.
Dongo to the UMass transfer. Safari Kapari. Kyshawn George knocks down.
All by himself. Kyshawn George. 8-foot pass from under the basket. George from Joseph. Spot up three is good for Kyshawn.
Jameer wanted it. There's Cleveland. George wide open. He knocks down the...
Really likes that hook pass, and he's thrown 3 of them away tonight.
George a three. Wide open George. It's good.
See if that becomes a factor on the offensive glass. Reed and Carr on the front line for the... As a team, Miami 37% from the floor. George trying to improve that fouls. He's got the score in the game. George, three-pointer. Got a little too cute on the drive, on the break that time. George lining up a three.
Next up, Kyshawn George immediately pops off the tape with his 6'8" size, handles, and shooting range. George reaching his upside will be heavily dependent on his off-the-dribble work, which has strengths and some limitations. He's fluid handling the ball and changing speeds. At his size, he takes long strides and gets extreme extension relative to who's typically guarding him. Though George wasn't the most efficient two-point shooter or playmaker, he clearly has untapped on-ball creation potential. George is a creative playmaker with a feel for throwing darts to shooters who are spotting up in the corners, and he can drive to draw a second defender before dumping it off to a cutter with a bounce pass. He shows upside with creating for others, but when it comes to creating for himself, that's an entirely different conversation. Let's watch some highlights.
Largest was 2.
Kyshawn George back on the floor. Remember, he picked up the foul. Come back out there for Coach Larinaga. There's Omier with him.
Cannot give up extra possessions. Bensley Joseph. Improvement game to game. Shot clock. Inside 5. Poplar from the corner.
The top of George. He wrestled it away from everybody. And aside from the shooting, George doing a nice
Five in the glass.
But he can spin, pivot on drives. He's got that deep range. And there he is again. Bodies all over the place underneath with Hall and Omier.
Boy, George can really
Speed up the court.
When our bosses say you've got a game in Miami, I don't think
Anybody says no.
Conference play starts, well, it's already started, but picks back up right after the new year.
He gets a little frustrated when they take him out with his first foul, and you saw there Jim Larinaga talking to him.
One showcase. 4 games today. We have 2 on our networks. St. John's and Boston College to follow us. Omier up. Inside Casey from George.
sitting courtside. What do you want to see from these guys right now, Jack? What are you looking for?
You want to see them to play unselfish Miami basketball.
Barnes has an excellent team, and Dalton Connect, who transferred in from Northern Colorado, has been their best player.
Got it us.
And then we get to weaknesses. Kyshawn George lacks an explosive first step and gets little elevation on finishes at the rim, leaving him prone to getting blocked or heavily contested. In 31 games, he converted only 24 shots at the rim and attempted 27 free throws. It can appear like he has weights tied to his feet when elevating for a finish. He's not a physical driver and often elevates far too far away, which gets him in trouble and leads to avoidable turnovers or reckless shots. George doesn't have the pull-up or touch shots right now to compensate, having shot only 29.2% on dribble jumpers. He made only one runner the entire year. He needs to get much stronger on defense to handle big wings and/or master his technique moving laterally to become a guard stopper. Lastly, he's fairly unproven as he didn't play heavy minutes for Miami in 2023. Let's wrap it up. While George likely won't be great out the gate, he has natural offensive and defensive guard instincts and is 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan and an 8'9" stand and reach. So he has real potential to become a solid NBA player. Whether George can consistently score on the offensive end will be the difference maker in the quality of his career. George seems to be a solid in many areas, but master of none. He can play some spot point guard minutes and handle the ball, but he has no physicality despite his frame. He can pass. He's not a great athlete, but a good one. He's not going to blow past you with quickness. All in all, George looks more like a second-round pick than a late lottery pick at this time. What do you guys think about Kyshawn George and his fit with the Philadelphia 76ers? Let me know down in that comment section below. Thanks for watching.